Welcome back to our blind beer tasting series. Today's the third day of qualifiers. My wife's randomly selected 2 beers for today's test. As you can see, both bottles are fully covered and the beer is ready to go. I will judge these beers on aroma, carbonation, colour and body. However, I have no actual idea what I'm doing, so I'll just tell you which beer I prefer. Let's start with beer B today. Alright, straight off the bat, I can see that beer B is definitely a lot darker. It's very dark, it's very amber. Let's see what it tastes like. Beer B is a very good beer. I'm pretty sure I've had this before and I'm pretty sure it will be a common beer. It tastes like they'd sell a lot of this. It's a beer that's made for everyone. It is very dark though. Doesn't smell very strong. I don't think this is a full strength beer. It'll be a mid strength at strongest, I reckon. It's got a very nice taste to it, very drinkable. I'm going to have a rough guess and say I think this may be that may be Carlton Dry. Carlton Dry for beer B, I think. Let's try beer A now. Beer A is a lot lighter. It's a lot more clear. Let's see what it tastes like. Ooh. It's a very light beer. It's a very light beer. I wasn't expecting the first fruity. It's almost fruity, but it's definitely not a fruity flavour. I think it's also a mid-strength beer. I don't think it's quite as good as beer B. Doesn't have the nice sell it to the masses sort of taste. Doesn't have that lagery, you'll sit down at a pub with your mates and drink a taste. It's got more of a, it's not a craft beer, but it's definitely a beer that would appeal to fewer people, I think. Maybe a cheaper beer, possibly. I'm not real sure what this is. I'll have to have a think about beer A. It's nice. I think beer B was better, but beer A is nice as well. Let's just try beer B again. I think this is beer B is very draft like. I think this is Carlton Dry. It tastes like Carlton Dry. It looks like Carlton Draft, which makes me think it is Carlton. Carlton tends to be a bit darker. I'm pretty confident that's dry, Carlton Dry, beer B. I'm not quite sure what beer A is at the moment though. it's very light. You can see straight through it. It makes me think it's a light beer, but I think this is it's a light beer, and I'm not exactly sure which one. I don't think I've had often. It could possibly be Great Northern Super Crisp, or the other option I think it might be is Cooper's Ultra Light. Let's reveal what they are. We'll start with whatever's on this side. Ooh, Cooper's Dry on this side. Cooper's Dry is beer. Oh, Cooper's Dry is beer A. Oh, just before I reveal any more, I think I preferred beer B. So I was sort of right. Cooper's Dry. I said Cooper's Ultra Light, so I'm actually wrong. So that's beer A. So let's see what beer B is. Beer B, ooh, I'm even wronger. Beer B is actually Great Northern Super Crisp, which is, like I said, this is a very popular drink in Australia. It's definitely one of the bigger beers now. And it was nicer. There was a very nice beer to drink. I'm a bit surprised it wasn't Carlton. It had that very Carlton taste to it. I have drank a lot of these. It's not really my beer of choice at the moment, but it was the preferred beer of the two. Not disappointed with that. This was definitely the better beer, and that wasn't bad. It's definitely not a beer I've tried often. Cooper's Dry. 1.2 standard drinks. It's a mid-strength at best. I wasn't too far off. I knew it wasn't a heavy, and I knew this wasn't a heavy. I thought it was a dry though. Great Northern. This is 0.9. It's a bit hard to see because of the clear bottle, but 0.9. So that's a light beer. So I preferred the light beer today. Thanks for joining me for today's beer review. Beer A was a very good beer. Cooper's Dry. I wasn't able to guess the beer exactly, but I was able to narrow it down to one or two varieties. It was very good, but it wasn't quite as good as our winner, Beer B, Great Northern Super Crisp. I also didn't guess this beer either. I could tell it was a good quality, very marketable beer. It has a taste that everyone can enjoy, and I'm glad it's moving on to the next round. I'll see you next time.